This is it. Welcome to Behind the Scenes with the OGs. Got Goldee and DJ Hard.
Welcome to Behind the Scenes. I'm Goldee, your West Coast co-host, and I got my partner DJ Hard, East Coast Louisiana. Hey man, this is a very exciting month. This is Black History Month. We've been putting in work on Black History. DJ got some, want to make a presentation on the wealth gap. Once again, we're going to stay on that because that's still getting very important. And also, we're going to do a review with Master P. And also, he's going to do a presentation on the racial wealth. What's that?
Yeah, the inequality.
Inequality.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do a presentation on Bill Cosby. You know what I'm saying? One of our semi-lost soldiers. You know what I'm saying? In this struggle. What's up with the DJ?
Oh man, I'm just so glad that I'm here. You know, I made it through the storm. You know, we had a big snowstorm. Pipe froze all up, water got cut off and everything, but I made it through that to come to you today and bring you another exciting show. Yeah, today we're going to get into the wealth gap chart, and also we're going to highlight a genius, that's available to us in our present day. I mean, when we talk about history, I'm telling you, history is being made all the time. So I'm going to introduce you to Richard Patterson, one of the first black automobile manufacturers. Okay, and we're going to highlight that with the masterpiece review. All right, Goldee, are you ready for this?
Yes, sir. So let's get on with the screen sharing.
Right on.
Okay. Peace. Let's start the show.
This is it. Welcome to Behind the Scenes with the OGs. Got Goldee and DJ Hard.
Okay, so basically, my reason for showing Bill the philosophy of Bill Cosby. This was back in 1968. He was, a younger man then. As I said before, he made a lot of contributions, to the black colleges. And this right here give you, a perspective of his ideology, at the same time to show that the system, will build you up, and at the same time, they'll turn on you and bring you down. And, his mindset, his ideology, we only see him from one perspective, and that's the entertaining part. But I want to show you what's really, truly in his heart as a black man. So let's proceed with this film. Okay.
Of Black history, lost, stolen, or strayed. No, I could never fit in that. Never get in that at all.
Yeah.
This is more like it. Now, what's the whitest thing you know? whiter than driven snow, whiter than the whites of your eyes. Sugar. Non-integrated, non-black.
Yeah, I'm busy right now.
Sweet sugar. But you see, there is a black man in the sugar. His name
Black
is
man in
Norbert
sugar.
Rillier. Norbert Rillier in 1846 invented a vacuum pan that revolutionized the sugar refining industry. Now, you have to dig to find that fact. I mean, it's not much history, but it's still history. Now, what do you stand in? In your shoes. Now, there's just you and your shoes, isn't it? Nope. See, there's a black man standing in your Oxford with you. Sharing your soul and your heels is a man, his name is Jan Ernst Metzeler. And in 1863, this is a drawing by the kids, Metzeler invented the machine that made mass-produced shoes possible. Now, you have to dig around for that fact, too. And again, it's not much history, but it's history. Am I coming in clear to California? I mean, is this TV signal driving through a pass in the Sierra Nevada mountains and slipping into San Francisco? Okay, well, I want to thank you, Jim Beckworth. Jim Beckworth out of St. Louis, hunter, trapper, and honorary chief of the Crow tribe of Indians. We had trouble finding you, Jim. Though you helped open the West, you didn't make the books. Chicago, right here, where the Wrigley building is. Young fellow by the name of Jean-Baptiste de Sable. Jean Baptiste. He founded Chicago when he traded with the Indians. And of course, there it is right there at that particular time. It was called Chicago or Stinking Onion by the Indians. And de Sable, he didn't even change the name at all. Now you take the Lewis and Clark expedition here, right in there. You'll find a black man named York helping to open the West. Those men are trying to wash the black out of York. That's what you might call historically significant because a lot of people think we ought to wash white, but we ain't gonna, you see. Texas. Coming to you, Texas. Right down the Chisholm Trail, right here. Right down there with 5,000 black cowboys who never made it to the Hollywood Western. Did you know that? Huh? In the same group, there was one black outlaw. His name was Deadwood Dick, who claimed his soul brothers were Bat Masterson, Billy the Kid, and Jesse James. Deadwood Dick used to ride into the saloon, order 2 drinks, one for himself and one for his horse. And here's his horse, drinking a shot of red eye with straw. And how about the 186,000 blacks who fought on the Union side during the Civil War? 38,000 died. How about Teddy Roosevelt's charge up San Juan Hill? It wasn't just the Rough Riders who made it. 4 black regiments went right up with Teddy. They didn't get lost going up the hill. They got lost in the history books. How about the North Pole? Snow White? Well, the first man there was black, Matthew Henson. He spoke Eskimo. And he was Admiral Perry's navigator. And although he made it first to the pole, it never quite made it to the history books. And how about your heart? Can we get there? All right. Daniel Hale Williams first performed open heart surgery successfully. And this list could go on forever. Blacks who made it, blacks who made history, but who didn't get into the history text at all. And the strange thing is how little there is about us in the textbooks. Napoleon once said history is a fable agreed upon, and the fable agreed upon up to now is that American history is white on white. But sometimes we did get into the history books. All wrong. Now you take this one. The Growth of the American Republic, 1942 edition. Samuel Eliot Morrison, Henry Steele Commager. Quote as for. This has to do with slavery. As for Sambo, Professor Morrison. Sambo, Professor Commager. As for Sambo, whose wrongs moved the abolitionists to wrath and tears, there is some reason to believe that he suffered less than any other class in the South from its peculiar institution. peculiar institution means slavery. Although brought to America by force, the incurably optimistic Negro soon became attached to the country and devoted to his white folks. Unquote. Those lines were written by two Pulitzer Prize-winning white Northern professors. Slavery. That's the place everybody likes to start Negro history. Yeah, ignorant black men being brought over from Africa in chains. Terrible thing, slavery. But this way slavery is taught, it sort of takes the sting out of it. Because the way it's usually taught, people think that we Afro-Americans started with nothing but little grass skirts like the kids in the Tarzan movies. And though America gave us slavery, America kindly gave us religion and a lick or two of education. And when we get more jobs and more education, up from slavery. But we had something before we left Africa, something more than rhythm. And we had a high culture. Culture was so high that great artists in the world are still borrowing from it.
That's this.
Now here's a sculpture by an unknown African artist. And here's what Paul Klee took from it. Now here's a work by an unknown black African, and Pablo Picasso liked what he saw. Another African design, and Modigliani swiped it, or he was influenced by it, or whatever polite word you want to use. Another black African artist, and Picasso didn't change it very much. I mean, when you look at this copying, you got to give us a little more than rhythm. You got to give us style. Now, if you tell the history of slavery right, you got a big problem on your hands. The slave trader didn't take some savage out of Africa. He took a human being, sold him like an animal, and separated him from his family. America invented the cruelest slavery in the history of this. It broke up black families. After slavery was over, America kept breaking up the black man's family. And that's some awful history to teach. Now, if you want to look history right straight in the eye, you're going to get a black eye. Because it isn't important whether a few black heroes got lost or stolen or strayed in America's history textbooks. What's important is why they got left out. Now, this country has got a psychological history. There was a master race, there was a slave race. And though there isn't any political slavery anymore, those same old attitudes have hung around. I mean, the burning part of Burn, Baby Burn is right here in this classroom. We want to thank Mrs. Lovely Billups and the whole gang here at fourth grade for the brilliant and intelligent artwork that they've done here to make this whole broadcast sing. I want you guys to keep pretending that I'm not here. You're doing a great job, and just keep on drawing and reading and writing, doing what you have to do, because I'm going to talk about some other kids. Not you, Mary, John, and Bob. These are kids from other schools. And did you know in some states it used to be against the law to teach blacks to read or write? Nowadays we're getting these integrated schoolrooms, and most people think that if we get enough teaching and enough jobs, everything is going to take care of itself. But there is a scar of history running right through kids as young as these. It tears you up if you know how to look at drawings kids make, because kids shouldn't know much about history and anything about discrimination. I mean, nobody hates little black kids, but why do some of them cause so much trouble? And if you ask black and white children to draw themselves, or trees, or houses, some strange things happen. We asked some ordinary white kids from ordinary families to make some drawings for us. Like, well, let's call him John. John's white, and we asked him to draw himself. This is John. This is his house, and this is his tree. Then we asked the black kid, let's call him Ralph, to do the same thing. This is Ralph's drawing of himself. This is his tree. Now, why should two kids of the same age draw so differently? Enter the expert. This is Dr. Emmanuel Hammer, psychiatrist specializing in children's therapy.
Let me illustrate it for you. Let's take these drawings. No matter what a child draws, he's really picturing himself. Ask a secure child to draw a tree, and he's likely to draw a bountiful spreading tree. A black child drew this tree, cut off in its growth, stark, bare, ungratified. It works the same way with drawings of people. Normal children, average drawings.
No.
The mood is happy, the child feels capable, the drawings are complete, and the arms are developed to emphasize strength. These children were old enough to draw complete figures. The significant fact is what they left out: arms, hands. A child may sense that a situation in life is so powerless that he himself is equivalent to an armless man. My own study reveals that armless people appear 3 times more frequently in the drawings by black children than those by white. The faceless beings suggest that these youngsters not only feel themselves to be less than they might be, they don't even feel themselves to be. The black child who is forced to live in a hostile world may disappear in self-defense. He drifts through life feeling like a shadow. He stops caring and he stops trying. A child who has this on his mind cannot be a child. A child who has this on his mind could want to burn down cities when he gets older.
The whole confusion was summed up by a black 9-year-old in these 2 paintings. This is the 9-year-old boy draws a white man, Robin Hood maybe. And this is how the same boy draws himself. And this is the consequence of deformed history.
Linda, close the curtains. Brian, lower the screen. Bonnie, light please.
In the past 50 years, 33,000 feature films have been made in the United States, and about 6,000 of them have had parts for black actors. For the most part, the black portraits have been drawn by white writers, white producers, and white directors for a white audience. Most black parts were the way white Americans wanted them to be. Black male was consistently shown as nobody, nothing. He had no qualities that could be admired by any man, or more particularly, any woman.
When the sun goes down, the guy goes down, the guy can gather around and they all begin to shout, hey, hey, Uncle Doug,
White people didn't like to think much about them. Sort of like a relative you got in a rest home. The happy darkies, dancing and singing was all they wanted to hear about. Being good Christians, the whites out front liked to think the blacks out back were kind of happy. Uncle Tom's Cabin was one of the first movies made that tried to say anything about black people. Uncle Tom was changed a little each time it was put on the stage, and all the parts were played by white actors. And by the time they made a movie of it in 1903, Uncle Tom was just the white man's idea of a good nigger. You might say he was what H. Rap Brown ain't. They made this picture 5 times. By the time they finished with it, Mickey Rooney could have played Uncle Tom. Minstrel shows started as a black man's entertainment for himself and the plantation owners. When they were filmed, though, they were done by a white cast. You figure that out. They were done as sort of a joke.
Okay, I'm gonna
and the
cut
black
right now.
entertainer couldn't even get a job making fun of
Move a
himself.
little bit over. Hold right there. And I'm making a suggestion to all, our audience to, to research this, go to YouTube, pull this up right here, because I'm telling you, after you watch this film right here, it's going to, give you information and knowledge, on Black history. Bill Cosby really put this here together real proper for us. And man, I'm just suggesting, that everybody that see this, go check Bill Cosby's film out, on this. It's really tight, the whole thing, the way he designed it and everything. And when you finish watching this here, you're gonna have a awakening, of your history and the truth about, our existence. All right, DJ. So What you think?
Man, well, well, I didn't know anything about this film. This is the first time I heard about this film. But anyway, this type of look at how Black people look or view themselves. I've seen other documentaries by other people that show similar issues. But I want to thank Bill Cosby for coming up with this, because he also shared some information in regards to Black inventors. You know, that was something right there.
Well, he's showing that, you know what I'm saying, the shoes you wear, the sugar you eat, all this stuff, everything basically that exists started from Black inventors, okay, that have not, we didn't get our props, like you said, in history, we didn't get our props, we didn't get our recognition, you know what I'm saying, for none of this, but at the same time, it shows that, you know what I'm saying, even before slavery, we was always a successful race of people living a quality life.
Yeah, and that's a good thing that we got that history that we can, you know, look into and find some good examples of how well we was doing in the past, and that's a sign of how well we can do in the future. And today is a good day.
We got a blueprint. We got a blueprint that actually is real, man. It's real, man. You know what I'm saying? It was a time in our life where we was on top, man. You know what I'm saying? And our, you know what I'm saying, the European people, you know what I'm saying, that's ruling over us now, exploiting us, pimping us, you know what I'm saying? This films like this show that this is something that just came about, you know what I'm saying, just through the contact, the connections, the greed of man, you know what I'm saying, to overthrow another man's power, you know, so that's why Black history is so important, because we got to know who we are, we got to know where we came from, we got to know what actually belonged to us, because we are such extraordinary people, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, because of, you know what I'm saying, going through slavery and stuff, it puts us on a whole different look, a whole different level, you know what I'm saying, of our existence today. And that's where the gang violence and stuff come in at, you know what I'm saying, on our part of us not being united as a people, not, you know what I'm saying, pulling together as a people and doing our thing, what we qualified to do and what the Most High, you know what I'm saying, gave us life on earth for.
Yeah, man. And another thing that I'm stressing is, like, today is a good day to start putting together that blueprint and acting on your blueprint for success. We're gonna move on with our show. We've got our next screen share coming up, and I'm gonna show you some things in regards to the wealth gap and current day inventor. I want to thank Bill Cosby for pointing out the ones he did, and we also are gonna continue to highlight Black inventors as we find them, because history is always being made. All right, hang on in there with us. We'll be right back.
Before we go, I'm challenging everybody who see our show to pull this Bill Cosby show up and check it out. I guarantee you will not, you know, so you will be happy that you did. All right, let's go.
I just wanna say I'm on my way, baby. Hello, my baby. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm on the freeway, trying to make my way. There's an accident that's in me, Trappin. I'm on my way to see you today. I just wanna say I'm on love it when you tell me you wanna see me. Love it when you tell me you love me. I just wanna say I'm on my way, baby. I just wanna say I'm on my way, baby.
This is where I'm starting my screen share today. This is dealing with the wealth gap widening. Okay, now in this you see like 2010, the wealth that whites had was like I imagine that this is an average, like this is more or less the average. 139,000. All right, for white families, and then for black people, they average wealth was 17,000. Hispanic, 16,000. Now, in 3 years later, all right, it shows that the amount of wealth that we had dropped. Okay. Down to $11,000 for whites. It increased to 141,000, and for Latinos, they had a drop too, and at 14,000. Okay. Now we're gonna move to another chart here. Now this chart right here is a little bit interesting, all right, because it shows quite a bit. It shows how everybody is affected. I'm looking particularly at 2010. Okay, now 2008, that was the housing crisis. That across the United States, the banks made all them bad loans and stuff like that. So it decreased white wealth also. That's the blue line. Okay, then this dark red is the black line. It's showing we also had a drop there too. And for Hispanic, Latino, it's the orange line, and it shows they was right under it, and they started to catch up, and then they dropped. And for both of us, coming into around 2013, something like that, then we flatlined. And this is dealing with the racial wealth inequality is rampant in America. All right. But what I'm trying to say is, I'm looking at this chart is charting from 2000. From 2020 to 2024. All right, and it shows a flat line there. Okay, now that's part of our discussion is like why it's important for us to have knowledge of economics and the general conditions of our communities and what's going on, even things like GDP growth. I mean, in most of our communities, that's probably not talked about. But okay, let's go to the next one. Now, this one right here, I find very useful, and because people want to know, why are you doing this and why are you doing that? Well, okay, as an investor, I'm looking at whether or not I should be cautious in my investment. That's one way to look at it, all right? Now, if I was in one of these categories where the green is, and that means the upward mobility, you got a 16.8% chance of success in the dark green area. Well, that's not in the state of Louisiana. Now over here in California, you got a lot of green, all right? So that means, okay, and some of it is kind of the medium green, and Okay. Yeah, light green. Okay, light green. That's all Southern California. I mean, you know, well, we consider this Southern California too, because that's probably the San Francisco all the way down to the Los Angeles area. Okay. So they have a decent chance of success. Now, where I'm at, in Northwest Louisiana, this is what, when I think of this big red market, and again, I'm looking at the southern states, and that's what most of this red is. Now, that red is showing you the difficult. All right, so at the top end, you got 6.1% chance of success. All right, now, okay, it's a whole lot of room in between this red where I'm at and the people at the top. So that means if I was in one of these areas, I have a better chance of making an investment and getting my money back. That's what I mean, you know, risk versus reward and investment based on the amount of economic activity that's going on in your neighborhood. Okay, so this is why I'm cautious. Now, of course, I'm gonna try to say, here's Louisiana right here. This the neighboring state. Okay. So Northwest Louisiana is in this area. All right. So I just want to bring that out and let you know that something is going on. Now, I'm looking at Louisiana again. All right. Now, it's green down here in the New Orleans area. All right, that's leading up to my next presentation in this spring here. All right, this is where approximately where Master P is. All right, down there in the New Orleans area.
And they have more unity. The blacks in New Orleans is more united.
Yeah, I mean, it's been like that for a long time. As a matter of fact, when I was organizing bands, you know, me and my band, you know, we played in Congo Square. All right, down there in the New Orleans area. All right, so let's move on to Master P. Let's see if we got this right here. I want to bring this out because here's a contemporary genius, black genius, Richard Patterson. So let's hear what they had to say in this discussion. You know, dealing with Dream Big, the first black-owned American auto manufacturer, with Master P. All right, let's hear what they got to say. Yeah. So here we go. I'm gonna let a little bit of this play.
To take advantage of the automotive talent that Michigan had to offer, engineers, designers, I was able to parlay right into aerospace. And the project was the new Boeing 777. That plane was going to be completely done in CAD from the ground up. And I did the landing gear on that plane. As to this date, is one of their most successful, and had a 30-year run before they replaced it. But
definitely one of the most successful.
Yes, sir.
You're a part of that. That's
yes.
Amazing.
That landing gear was my baby.
Wow.
And I went into the Viper program, the first Viper. I did that at the Plymouth location in Detroit. Of course, you know what that car did for Chrysler. We took a truck engine, built the car around it, and the rest is history. And you know, I did a lot of ancillary products and projects. That seat turned out to be the stow and go seat in the minivan, which is still being used today. And that project, for me, I think is my best project, you know, because I had to take a seat and fold it into the floor so that it disappeared. And that required a lot of engineering as far as where the frame rails to the chassis went and all that. But it also entailed me, when I folded the seat, it actually moved. And I had to get it to go 78 millimeters inboard of the car. So the first fold, it moved 20. Then the next move, it moved to 58, and it went down to the floor. So that caused another big stir in the automotive industry. Chrysler Store and Goldee. 8 people on the patent, I was one of them. So I'm the guy everybody speaks to, because if you move something, or if you're designing something, you need to make sure it's legal. You need help with this car. So he goes, okay, what will it take to get you? And I'm like, oh, this is my chance to. I'm like, I'll tell you what, man.
Tell them $1 billion.
I
At $1 billion, right?
I gave him a nice high salary for a person in position. Monday I was at Tesla. Walked in there, and the first thing I wanted to do was see all the data on how they set this car up, because there's only 4 people in the world that could set a car up from scratch. And that means you start with the H point, the hip point, and you position the mannequin the way you want, if it's going to be SUV, sports car, sedan, whatever it is, and then everything goes off of that. I'm one of the 4. So I basically tore the Tesla down to the bare screws and started building it up. The head of engineering at the time, the British guy I was speaking to, he came over and sat down. He goes, well, Richard, I see you getting to work. We're gonna let you roll with what you're doing. But I tell you what, and he's looking at me and I'm looking at him. He goes, if you this up, we're gonna make sure you're not gonna ever work in the automotive industry ever again. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, but I said, no problem. And I took the challenge from there to really make sure this car was gonna be the tops on everything. Comfort, safety, vision, all the switches were gonna be in a comfortable position, that giant monitor, everything. And it turned out that every week Elon Musk would come over and sit with me and go over where everything was and how everything looked. And at that time, we would talk about music, rap songs. He's into that. And just different things. But then I started figuring out I had this time with him. I can introduce some of the things that I want to put in the car, like the self-visiting door handles, like really making that 6-inch monitor a 12-inch monitor. And Elon comes in. He sits down right across from me. Rich, if I were you, I wouldn't be working for me. And he walked away. And I'm sitting there like, what did he say that? As I'm walking back to my desk, I realized that he was saying, if he knew what I knew, he wouldn't be working for nobody but himself. And I quit and started trying.
Thing that people have to realize, like with me and my son, we are business partners and we family too. And we're about doing stuff as a family. But what we realized that as African Americans, a lot of our deals, they take it. And so now it's time for us to be the first and to be able to change the poverty in our culture, like you say, Detroit, New Orleans, California, all these places we have to start owning things.
Well, Pops, you gotta look, if kids know Rich, if they know his name, you're gonna inspire so many people in this world. It's like, your name should be spoken every school. You know, we talk about athletes and all these professional athletes, and you're really changing the world. You know, the 777, that you fix the hydraulics on there, all of that. That's amazing right there.
And like you say, like Martin Luther King died for us to be able to go chase these dreams. We're gonna do the Master P review, and we're gonna review this car, and we're gonna show the world what it is.
2,000 horsepower. This is the RR edition.
Wait, you said 2,000 horsepower?
Yes, sir.
That's like a Bugatti, basically. The only other car I know.
What I like about this, though, this is done by a black man.
Exactly.
You built this from the ground up.
Yeah, it looks nice, but it actually has a lot of function to the form. And I thought of that sitting on the plane.
That was real sleek. It's like modern, new, just beautiful.
That's what we was looking for, or what I was looking for when I did it.
So tell them what's the name of this car.
This car is the Nemesis.
Okay.
And it actually is the enemy to anything out there, especially from Europe. So it will be their nemesis.
That's literal. We coming after the competition. I'm gonna name the car Nemesis.
I'm gonna just call it Black Magic. That's what I'm gonna call
This is
it.
straight out of a movie though. Like I would never thought like I'll see a car like this when you're watching these future films in my time.
Oh,
and
yeah.
created by you, somebody who looks like us.
Exactly.
You know? Like this is amazing.
But we dream and we think of things too, and we actually do stuff.
Yeah.
And I definitely got a track record and pedigree out in the automotive space that proves that I can.
No,
I
but
can
you
do
put
my
the work
thing.
in, and I tell people all the time, you can't get to the top of any game. I don't care what it is, unless you really put the work in and you're consistent about what you're doing. So,
Correct.
This is incredible.
And these are actually ailerons or wings that help the airflow, and that keeps the car down in the rear as well.
Yeah.
So does this light up?
This is the light here.
Dang, all around.
And then this right here is your driving light in here. So when you hit the brakes, that all lights up. Then your blinkers, everything here, one piece design. And I wanted to keep it as nice and fresh as the vehicle, as the car itself. This is open, of course, to two draw fans behind here that actually draw out the heat from the engine.
The car looking good. How many people could fit in this car?
There's two people, but
Oh, that's all I need is two. You know, a black man that created a car. We got to tell the world about this.
Yes, sir.
From a scale of 1 to 10, Ron, what do you rate this? Not because he here. I'm just saying. Just act like
Nemesis?
Yes.
1 through 10.
Yes.
I'm looking at the beauty of it, right?
Okay.
This thing look like this needs to be in the new James
This is not a
Bond
woman we talking about.
I'm a talk. It is a woman. All my car are women, so I'm just saying. The beauty is immaculate.
Stop touching on the car like that.
Okay, I'm just saying, Pops, let me do my thing. Look at the rims. He said it's 2,000 HP?
Yes, sir.
Oh my goodness. So this thing not just beautiful, but it got some power to it. Keeping it 100. This has to be the first 10. I have to give it a 10. Pops, this is a 10. Look at this. Pull up in this. You may get Rihanna, Pops. That's all
Okay,
I'm saying.
well, let me tell you.
Master P get his groove back. Percy
What
Miller.
you mean get my groove back? My groove ain't never left.
I'm just saying.
So you saying I can't get Rihanna?
In this you could.
Okay,
Get
from a
Nemesis.
scale of 1 to 10, this car is a 10.
This is
Whoa,
officially a
it's
10.
it's officially a 10. This is my first 10. You know what that means, homie? We got a new partner. We got a new partner. That's what I'm just saying. Look,
For real.
look. Let me tell you something. With me and my son, we about business. We about our culture and our people. And I just want to let black people, minorities all across the world know how big this is. For to have a brother like you to be a part of technology and creating stuff that could change the world. And they ain't even see the other cars that we looked at.
Right.
They don't need to see that. They don't need to see the SUVs right now.
But Pops, this is a big deal for the culture, for our people. Like I was saying in there
it's a
earlier,
very
it's like,
nice
this is
program.
how we create
I'm
jobs
telling
for
you,
us.
Yeah.
This
the way
is how we
things look,
inspire us.
we
Them
need
seeing you
100 more
create something like this.
masterpieces,
They
man.
seen me and Pops
Spread
on
it out
history,
all over
music,
America,
and
you know,
products, but
so they
seeing
can
a black man build a
help
car,
bring up
and not just any
more
car, but one
minorities
of the most
in
beautiful
the-
cars I ever
you know,
seen.
black
Yeah,
owned
and then,
business,
you know what? That
you
just
know.
show you how we
So,
are.
you know, I wanted everybody to see this as a part of Black history, to let you know that we have some great things in the past. We got some great things going on today. And I'm telling you, we're going to have some more great things going on in the future. That's what it's all about. You feel me, Goldee?
That's right. That's extraordinary, you know what I'm saying, that this invention right here, this creation right here in today, you know what I'm saying, will be recognized. You know what I'm saying? Brother Patterson, he gonna get his recognition, man, for creating this automobile right here. It's a beautiful car. It has 2,000 horsepower. You know what I'm saying? And you know, only thing I kind of feel, you know, shit, I want one of them myself. I'm not comfortable because I ain't in the position to get it. You know what I'm saying? Off the top, like Master P and Romeo, they're gonna be two of the first. You know what I'm saying? To whip that.
Yeah, man, you know, that's why I'm gonna keep on pushing this issue and trying to develop better and better media programming. You know, that's my thing. And also, you know, I love music and I'm producing the music. I'm gonna keep on producing. I'm gonna keep on doing my doggone thing so I can come up on me one of these badass stars right here. Yeah, when I get some extra money I want to spend. All right, so this is my screen share for the day. We'll be right back with our wrap of this very exciting show that we put together. We've seen from Bill Cosby, and he put together a video product that is contributing to our Black history, letting us know some of the problems that we've had in the past, and all of that stuff that we see in the past, that's history. And what we need to take from history is like we need to learn from that, so certain problems we can avoid certain problems, you know, by learning from it. You know, we're gonna have to, you know, hey, this is America. This is a very tough nation, man. I'm telling you, man. You know, it started with roughness. It has always been rough, man. I'm telling you, you know. So, but anyway, what did they say? The home of the free and the home of the brave, you know. So you gotta be free, you gotta be brave, and you gotta be bold, and you gotta go for some American goals. And industry is one of the American goals that, you know, is this country is founded on. There's nothing wrong with us, you know, getting our part of the industry today. That's what I got to say, man. Do you feel me, Goldee?
Black man got to stand up and represent and be brave. You know what I'm saying? That's why, you know, we need the importance of us, you know, knowing our history, studying our history, learning our history. You know what I'm saying? So we can, you know, this, you know, we need this to give us a stride, you know, to, you know, get our rightful position and our rightful place, you know what I'm saying, in life. So, you know, that's what history is all about. And we've been denied the real, been denied the truth. And today, a Black person don't have no excuse for not knowing the truth and the real about what this here is all about, and why the politics are on the level that it's on, and the racism. And you know, so I'm saying we still need to, you know, take that first step and get the name to the White House changed.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna be right back with our wrap. And matter of fact, we want to highlight that a little bit more as we wrap up our show. All right. Okay, so y'all hang on there with us. We'll be right back with the wrap of our show. Thank you.
2 minutes and 2 seconds. Okay, we back. We back with behind the scenes with the OGs. Okay, so I want to give a shout out to all my fam and friends, fam in Detroit, fam in San Antonio, fam out here in the city of LA, and worldwide. Sasha Banks, you know, you understand, I still got my eyes on you, girl. Keeping on with the winning. And I want to give a shout out to all the political prisoners, fed and state. You know, y'all just stay strong, hang in there. And you got people, you know, out here trying to, you know, do something about the racism that exists in the prison system, and all the, you know what I'm saying, taking a person's whole life away from them through time, and not being a system of rehabilitation, just fronting like it's about rehabilitation, but in actuality, that's all fake shit. That Bill Cosby presentation, you know, I wanted to present that, like I said earlier, because I want to show how the system, you know what I'm saying, what they do with us, you know what I'm saying, when we get to a certain level of dealing with them, you know what I'm saying, they have a tendency to, you know what I'm saying, want to put a blemish, you know what I'm saying, and make you somebody that you ain't, because they know what's in your heart is to be who you really are, because you have that information, you have that knowledge, you know, and they know that your dealings with them is for economical, you know what I'm saying, matter, irregardless, you know what I'm saying, because that upscales their existence. But at the same time, what's truly in their heart and for their people is really up in them. And this situation that Bill Cosby got caught up in, and they turned his own women, sisters against him and stuff to try to live in this world. You know, and they don't want us to know about, you know, saying the real him, who he really is. So they want to give you that one side. But we here today, you know what I'm saying, to show you that it's two sides to every story. Just because they say a person is dead, you know what I'm saying, that's just, you know, how they want to do it, how they give them. And with that right there, I'm going to turn this on over to DJ.
But I want to thank y'all for watching. And please subscribe, hit that like button, hit that bell so you'll be notified when we produce another show. Be among the first to know when we put together a new show. I want to thank all of my fans who be streaming my music on all these different platforms. And I especially want to thank my audience on Number One Music for streaming my music and sharing my music. I want to thank all the influencers for sharing my music and helping spread the word about DJ Hard Music available, you know, where it's available. And that one song, I'm telling you, it's catching attention. It's called On My Way.
On My Way.
Yeah. It's all about positive energy, love, and taking a situation. I'm telling you, I got caught in a traffic jam on my way to LAX, getting ready to come back to Shreveport, Louisiana. And I'm telling you, I said, wow. It wasn't one traffic jam. It was about 5 of them in a row. Yeah, man, I'm telling you. So that's how I came up with that song. I'm on my way because I was determined to try to catch my flight and get back to take care of my business, you know, making music. One other thing that slowed you down, and it slowed me down, and that's the weather, man. I'm telling you, it got down to 0 degrees right here in Shreveport. It, you know, caused some leaks, and so I got to fix that plumbing, you know. So I've been on top of that. So that slowed my music production down by about 2 weeks, you know, because we had a week of frozen weather, and I made it through that. And now the repairs are on the way, and I'm gonna make it through that. And we're gonna keep on trying to come with better programming, new music, because media is our thing. I mean, film and music. I'm telling you, I love film and music, and I want to thank my audience for hanging in here with me, leaving your comments, and sharing our show. I want to really thank you for that, because you know, you're the reason why we exist, and I just want to be a contributor to what's going down to make sure that our Black history is being documented properly. So I'm putting my little bit in on, my expertise to try to make sure that we're documenting some history as we go, because history is continuous. Do you feel me, Goldee?
Yes, sir. History is just, is our past. It's dealing with the past, and history is been the history that we got is his story. You know what I'm saying? That's what we came up under, his story. But now in this day and time is the truth of our story. So they need to change history to our story. You know what I'm saying? That'll be a good thing.
This is part of my story. Money and Black Lives Matter, because they get to talking about all kinds of things. Matter of fact, I had a conversation with a person recently, and they talk about fighting crime and drugs and all that stuff. I said, well, look, if you want people to change, you're gonna have to replace it with industry. Now, I think they talk, when I say industry, they talk about somebody else's. No, I'm talking about my industry. I'm trying to get them to get out of the way so I can, build my industry. This is my industry, music and film, and now we're expanding our product line to t-shirts. Y'all support us in what we're doing. Leave a comment if you want us to see one, because we monitoring that and we gearing up for that. All right, Goldee, what else happening?
Yeah. So basically we just we put on these presentations, because of the importance. We're not going to stop, we're not going to break our stride. We're going to keep doing what we're doing because we know this is necessary. And film and music, is our production also. And so, that's also the business aspect of it.
I got a couple of things I want to add.
And also, I just want to say that as far as, us dealing with history, it's just, we take time out to study. A lot of this information is new to us too at the same time, because, it was kept away from us too. Yeah. All right. So with that, go ahead.
Hey, man, we forgot to highlight something that we recognize. Change the name of the White House to the United States House. and the final thing is reparation, because that, along with people that may, get involved, like Master P or whoever, might get involved with businesses and help organize business, invest into business and stuff like that. Reparation is the next thing that'll help balance the budget and distribute some wealth back to us that's due to us. So I don't want to forget about reparations. I would love to see our politicians talk more about it and see where they're coming from on the issue, and whether or not they want me to join in on the conversation, because I would love to add something in on that conversation, because this my thing, everybody got their own ideas, but my thing is to build an industry, because to me, if I build an industry and hire a few people, that's a few people that's going to be employed doing something respectfully. And I'm telling you, when you're dealing with adult men, I'm telling you, men like responsibility. So a job is responsibility. And that's one way that we can, keep our communities together, is by building industries that have jobs, and those people get a chance to work in them fine companies that we build.
Yes, sir. And so yeah, that's what's up. And we're gonna push the line you know what I'm saying, trying to, getting this information out to our people. And that's what's up with us. And, you know, let's end the show.
Yeah, well, we're going to wrap it up. I want to thank you. Please, whatever you do, if you're going to have a drink and everything, have a designated driver. Please don't drive drunk and stop the violence.
Stay safe and peace. All right.